How was Jurassic World Rebirth originally supposed to end? We know it was supposed to have a character death, and also multiple dinosaur battles were considered, and now we have that confirmed thanks to this article. We'll credit them at the end. So yes, spoiler alert, they'll be discussing the ending of Jurassic World Rebirth, which is in theaters now, so obviously go and watch it. But yes, in Jurassic World Rebirth, survival is a long shot, but Duncan, Kincaid, Mahershala Ali still manages to pull it off. The latest Jurassic film culminates in what appears to be a heroic sacrifice by Ali's character. Duncan draws the horrifying mutant Distortus Rex away from Zora, Henry, and the shipwrecked Delgado family, so they can all escape on a boat. It seems like Duncan is about to be eaten off screen, only for the final moments to reveal he made it out. He sends up a flare to signal for the group to wait for him, then joins Zora and Henry as they leave the island together. But the movie didn't always have such a happy outcome, as director Gareth Edwards tells USA Today, so there's the credit, that Duncan was originally meant to die at the end. My first gut feeling was to kill him, and that's what I tried to do, Edwards says, noting that Ali felt the same way. According to screenwriter David Koepp, there were also versions of the script where Duncan died earlier, so that would have been interesting to see. During production though, Edwards says the studio talked him into sparing Duncan. The director's cut had him dying, and I played it to the studio, and they said, is there any version where we could just see him living? While initially reluctant, Edwards cut together a new version and ended up warming to it. Because it's written and filmed for him to die, all the tropes and subconscious things you would do to, set that up are happening in the movie, he says. So then weirdly, I think it's a surprise when he lives, because we've played all the cards you play when someone's about to have their last moment. He says he was moved to watch the film with the crowd and hear the audience cheer when Duncan's flare goes up, revealing that he is alive. It was one of those occasions where sometimes the studio knows what they're on about, Edwards says. Koepp was also on board with the change, noting that as the movie evolved, Duncan became a bigger part and a more interesting character, and we have a fantastic actor playing him, so killing him 90 seconds before ending the movie would not have made a lot of sense. How does Jurassic World Rebirth end? After Duncan joins up with Zora and Henry, the film closes with a scene of the trio leaving the island now that they have the dinosaur DNA necessary to create a drug that could cure heart disease. Zora decides they will give the entire world access to the new medicine rather than handing it over to a pharmaceutical company to profit from. But there's a lingering threat still out there. While the 3 previous Jurassic movies introduced a new dinosaur villain that is then killed in the end, in Rebirth, the Distortus Rex remains alive and kicking when the credits roll. Edwards says he second-guessed this while editing the film and started wondering if it would be better for the Tyrannosaurus Rex to reappear and fight the D-Rex. I thought, oh my god, is this something we should be doing? He recalls it hadn't occurred to him before. While he was contemplating creating a new ending where the T-Rex returned, Edwards polled everyone working on the film to see what they thought. It was the movie's visual effects supervisor who talked him out of it by telling Edwards, that's what happens in all the movies, Gareth. The T-Rex turns up and saves the day, and everyone's expecting that. I was so pleased when you didn't do that. Edwards notes that leaving the Distortus Rex alive isn't meant to set up its return in a possible sequel, but it's hard to kill that thing unless it was another animal that did it, which would lead to a similar ending as other Jurassic movies. There's that phrase, ex machina, where God comes and saves everyone, he says. In Jurassic, there's something I call Rex Machina, where a T-Rex comes and saves everyone. I felt like maybe we don't do that. Maybe that's one of our differences. Which, if you think about, T-Rex saved them in Jurassic Park, saved them in Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom kind of, kills off Mills. And then Dominion, I guess, yeah, kills the Giga. Jurassic Park 3, I guess, creates a distraction for the Spino so the humans can escape. Lost World, I don't know. I mean, guess saves its child. Doesn't really do much for the humans, though. So, there is that. But, what's the future of Jurassic World after Rebirth? Given that Zora, Henry, and Duncan all live to fight another day at the end of Rebirth, should fans expect them to reunite in future Jurassic movies? Nothing is set in stone, but it's hard to imagine them not being in the next film, Edwards says. While no discussions about a sequel have taken place, the director also teases that he has a specific concept in mind for where the franchise could go after Rebirth, which he doesn't want to reveal in case he has an opportunity to make it happen. As a fan, there's a type of movie I've just been wishing for with each incarnation, he says. I have a feeling that I would love to see next. So yeah, that is the article by USA Today, but there is still more information. I recently watched a Collider interview with Frank Marshall and Gareth Edwards. They were being interviewed, all spoilers, Rebirth, everything discussion. They were asked things like, what happens to Aquilops? Because we all know that dinosaurs on the mainland are dying off, Is Aquilops Dolores going to die off as well? Well, they stated in that interview that no, you can rest assured Dolores will be safe, will not be harmed, will not be dying on the mainland. So yeah, and they do hint at, where could the characters be going next? We'll have to wait and see, possibly if there is a sequel, which it is looking quite likely. I think the news was dropped that, Zora, aka Scarlett Johansson, is going to be in the next sequel, and Gareth Edwards will once again be directing. So I just think that that's really awesome information to have out there. And also Spinosauruses, because I have been including them in videos saying, should they be in the final fight scene? And if you think about it, do you remember what the Mattel dinosaurs were originally codenamed? We know that D-Rex was codenamed Villain Dino, but we also know Spinosaurus was codenamed Hero Dino. So if you think about it, in the movie, it doesn't really do heroic things. It kills off 2 crew members, which, I guess Bobby Atwater wasn't the greatest of guys, but Nina didn't really do much. She didn't, deserve that death, I don't think. So I'm not sure they really deserve that heroic title, but we know the heroic dinosaur always goes to the one that saves the characters at the end of the film, like Rexy, saving them constantly. So I'm guessing one of the other fights besides T-Rex versing the D-Rex was also the Spinosaurus trio or the Spinosaurus squad versing the D-Rex, and we could have seen them take out the D-Rex and take it down, and it could have been gone. But no, it lives just like the JP3 Spinosaurus did in JP3. Anyway, make sure to watch up here for more, and I will see you all later. Bye, everyone!